You don't need a complete personality transformation, you just need to stop making the exact same mistake. Everybody screws up at work. I've never met a person who was perfect at every job they've been at. Just the other day, my friend was telling me about how he was 3 hours late from work. And this guy is the guy who I look up to as the guy who's always working. I've never met a person who's been perfect at every job they've had. You forget something, you show up late, you get annoyed and say something that you probably shouldn't have, whatever. The problem starts when people keep giving you the exact same feedback and you start treating the feedback like it's some background noise. If 3 different people told you that you're hard to work with, there might be something there. Maybe it doesn't mean that they're completely right, but I'd at least think about it. If every manager you've ever had somehow ends up having an issue with the exact same attitude, I'd probably stop assuming that you just have the worst luck in human history. At a certain point, you have to ask yourself what you're bringing into these situations. It's uncomfortable. It's much easier to say that these people just don't understand me. Again, changing doesn't mean becoming some corporate robot who walks into work yelling, "Good morning, team!" at 6 a.m. in the morning. Please do not become that guy either. It means fixing the parts of yourself that keep making your life harder. If you know you have a problem with being late, stop treating time like it's a suggestion. If you know you get defensive every time somebody corrects you, practice shutting up for 10 seconds and actually listening before responding. That sounds tiny, but think about how many arguments would disappear if people just did that. Somebody tells you, "Hey, you forgot to do this yesterday." Instead of immediately explaining the entire history of why technically it wasn't your fault, just go, "Yeah, my bad, I'll handle it." Done. Conversation over, you didn't die, your ego survived. And now the other person knows you're capable of being corrected without turning it into a federal court case. A lot of these jobs aren't looking for unbelievable superstar employees. They just want somebody who shows up and does exactly what they're saying they're going to do. The bar is honestly lower than a bunch of people think. You know when you're pushing it. There's usually a moment where you catch yourself doing something and think, "I should probably stop doing this." Listen to that feeling, because eventually somebody else notices too. And once your reputation at a job completely changes, it's really hard to get that back. If people see you as reliable, they give you a little room when you screw up. They know that's not normally you. But once a person starts expecting you to screw up, now every little thing confirms what they already think. You come in late and suddenly, of course he's late. You forget something and it's, of course he forgot something. That's a bad place to be at. And if you're ever there at your last job, think about when it started. There's probably a point where you stopped caring. Again, that happens too. Sometimes the real mistake wasn't that you were just lazy. You were just done with that place months before you actually left it. You stopped putting in the effort into anything because you didn't see a future there. You'd look at the clock every 15 minutes wondering how the hell only 4 minutes had passed. I've been there. But if you ever reach that point again, don't just sit there until somebody fires you. Start planning your exit. Look for another job while you still have the current one. That alone puts you in a completely different position. Walking away because you found something better feels a hell of a lot different from waking up one morning and realize you suddenly have no income.